Holiday season is here, and with it, a lot of concern about this dramatic new surge in COVID cases. Here to answer your questions is Dr. Kristen Moffitt, an infectious disease specialist at Boston Children's Hospital. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Emily.
All right, the White House Coronavirus Task Force says anyone who traveled or gathered with people outside their household for Thanksgiving, they should just assume they're infected. They should stay away from people at high risk for serious illness. Do you agree with that?
I really do. I mean, cases are surging almost everywhere right now. So the risk of someone having been exposed to COVID-19, if they did recently travel, if they were part of a gathering of people, particularly over the Thanksgiving holiday, it's very elevated right now. So someone who's had that exposure may feel well themselves, but need to realize that they could actually be very infectious to others for up to 2 days before they were even to develop symptoms. So spending close time with someone who's at high risk of severe COVID infection would be very risky right now. And as we've been hearing, hospitals are surging and ICU admissions are surging. So that could really be dangerous for the person at high risk of severe disease. So if a person had those exposures, really the best thing for them to do would be to quarantine if they can for 14 days. If that is impossible, if they really need to be around someone who's at higher risk for more severe disease, then it should absolutely be with masking in place and with attempts at distancing as much as possible.
Let's talk about vaccines, this hope that all of us are looking towards. Moderna announcing it's going to start testing its vaccine in kids as young as 12. Pfizer made that similar announcement back in October. Is this the same vaccine that adults would get, or would you expect to see changes in the dosage, maybe even the formula?
Yeah, so that's right. Pfizer actually began immunizing children over the age of 12 back in October, and Moderna is planning to start a similar trial imminently. And from the detail that's available so far, those adolescents are getting the same dose and the same regimen as was given to adults in the phase 3 trials for those two vaccines. And what typically would happen is that the safety and the immune response of those doses and that regimen of vaccines in the adolescents will be evaluated first. And based on what's seen in adolescents, decisions would be made about what dose would be moved into younger children.
Let's talk about compromises. Holidays are coming. It's getting colder. Outdoor visits, maybe not practical anymore. Grandparents want to see their grandkids. So I think people are asking themselves, is it safe to do that inside if everyone wears a mask? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we just need to remember the fundamentals, which is that spending time with people outside of your household, indoors, particularly a prolonged period of time, that is a set of circumstances in which we know transmission occurs. But we absolutely realize how mental health is being affected by potential isolation. And in some cases, grandparents provide a critical childcare role for their grandchildren. So in those cases, if grandparents will be near their grandchildren, families should do their best to limit their exposures and contacts outside of their households for at least the 14 days before they're going to be together. And when they are together, they should absolutely be masking, still distancing as much as possible. I know everybody wants to be able to give their grandchild and grandparent a hug, and increasing ventilation if they're together indoors could be helpful too.
All right, all of these things just have to hang in there. We have to hang in there. All right, Dr. Moffitt, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.